to introduce Biotronics, its background, possibilities, and results. Please welcome to the stage its leading representative, Director of Sanator, the Union of Biotronicists of Josef Zazulka, founder of the Institute for TCIM and CAM, and Vice Chairman of the Council for Integrative Medicine, Mr. Tomáš Pfeiffer. Mr. Pfeiffer, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Děkuji.
Thank you.
Děkuji vám.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with a quote of a scientist, the best one who has ever lived, thanks to whom we do not use candles for lights, thanks to whom our machines and devices work. On a day when science starts studying phenomena unrelated to physics, progress will advance in 10 years more than it would in several centuries of its existence. And this is very true. The realm we have been investigating is very limited, and beyond that boundary lie other worlds which are ready to be investigated, which are ready to become the point of our interest. Today, let me touch Biotronics, but before I start, allow me to respond to Jesper's contribution, who mentioned that there is democracy, and that was related to Wikipedia when some contributions are being deleted. Democracy does not look like this, because democracy is a dialogue, and therefore aggressive deleting of contributions is a sign of totalitarian regime. Now, such contributions should be investigated so now let's get to our topic, Biotronics in the 21st century. It is not a new topic, because life has always carried energies, and as matter carries energy, so does organic matter. It is already a very old branch of complementary medicine. Allow me to move to the next slide. So this is already an established branch of complementary medicine, and it has already proven its effectivity as a supportive treatment for various diagnoses. Studies generally report improvements in patients' quality of life. And a new non-invasive method of spiritual energy therapy. It has shown that it can heal even patients who are incurable by conventional medicine. We will show you some slides which will be reporting that. This field of biotronics was founded by Czech philosopher and healer Josef Zazulka, and it is based on the assumption that the human organism has three basic components: physical, mental, and vital. And based on this, we can understand the causes of diseases and the ways how to treat them. So biotronics operates in the field of vital biological forces, and that are central petal, central fugal, stimulating and calming forces. So here you can see a similarity to forces which our ancestors referred to in their ancient philosophies. Biotronics applies a specific force structure in a targeted manner according to the diagnosis, and unlike other fields of energy therapy, this targeted approach can make this intervention more effective and successful. In history, we can also see research which took place in deep communism. It took place in hospital in Vimperk, and it was a short investigation, short trial into which 20 patients were involved. The patients suffered from asthma, duodenal or gastritic ulcer, and these patients were expected to react to the treatment, and the lower expected sensitivity was heart disease, hypertension. So what were the outcomes? So out of 20 patients, the results were inconclusive in only 2 patients, and the treatment was terminated prematurely in 4 patients. But then after that, the investigation had been proven. It was discontinued by the state police. Positive results were confirmed both by clinical status and laboratory tests. The greatest achievement was reported in the case of terminal stomach cancer, where total revitalization was achieved after 7 days of Biotronik intervention, although that patient had been anteportas. And here, an artificial opening in the abdominal cavity after colostomy healed spontaneously without surgical intervention. That was a miracle. Statistics on treated diseases related to mine work. Over those 4 years of practice, I have healed about 3,000 patients. In 30% they were tumor diseases, and 27% these were heart and vascular diseases, and 10% neurological diseases, as you can see on the chart. As Biotronics is a field which works on integration into mainstream medicine, I would like to approve a few case studies. Here, a 44-year-old man was diagnosed with a malignant lentigo malignant melanoma, and surgical removal of the tumor was indicated. But after that, the tumor started growing really aggressively to the size of 10/8. And while the man was waiting for an operation, he underwent Biotronic treatment, which reduced the tumor to 7/7 millimeters. And thanks to that, the operation was only performed to a much less radical manner, and after that the gentleman underwent an aesthetic operation. And this patient still is alive 7 years after the diagnosis. His face shows no signs of the procedure. Another case reports a 52-year-old woman with extensive inoperable adenocarcinoma of stomach in the terminal stage. And after almost half of the stomach was infiltrated, and after she underwent Biotronic treatment, an encapsulated tumor was found. Another case study reports a 35-year-old woman with papillary adenocarcinoma of the ovary. There were repeated conventional medicine interventions which were completely unsuccessful, and the woman was already in terminal stage. The the tumor reached her navel, and then she was repeatedly treated with Biotronics, and after 2.5 years, the tumor gradually disappeared, which was reported also with CT, sonography, scintigraphy examinations, which proved all the findings. Another case study was a 70-year-old woman with small cell bronchogenic carcinoma with metastasis in the mediastinal and cervical lymph nodes. And after Biotronic treatment, the patient lived for another 14 years after the initial diagnosis. And then a 53-year-old man with locally progressive malignant melanoma of the left lower limb in the small pelvis. So you know well what the prognosis of such a terminal state is. Then, you know, conventional treatment had to be terminated, and he underwent a Biotronic treatment, and the patient is still alive and has been alive for 18 years. So now we have published a preprint in an impacted journal, which was very difficult to reach, in Research Square, which reports a unique closure of an open foramen ovale after Biotronic treatment, which had never actually been observed before without surgical intervention. And the last case study is a 31-year-old man who was hospitalized with a stroke of embolic origin due to paradoxical embolism in the foramen ovale patents. The patient underwent Biotronic treatment, which resulted in significant improvement in neurological and cardiac impairment. So the transesophageal echocardiographer performed did not confirm the initially detected atrial septal defect. So that was a very extraordinary case. I contacted a head oncologist, and I asked how many spontaneous recoveries they had seen, and his answer was that none. Although literature does report it. I know about that. So long-term survival of cancer patients after unsuccessful conventional treatment in the terminal stage of the disease is extremely rare. So achieving such results is an unusual success. So the closure of the foramen ovale without surgery, which initially seemed necessary, is remarkably unique. Józef Izolka's Biotronics has significant therapeutic potential in integrative healthcare. This is true, and let's hope that time will come when such incomprehensible areas of biological forces will become the subject of investigation. Because Biotronics is also able to treat other diagnoses, for example, sclerosis, multiple sclerosis, ulcer, colitis. Great achievements have been achieved in LMD, DMO, in infants, complicating the children's development in the area of cognitive development, especially in terms of their movement, especially the intervention by Biotronics is available in early age. What seems to be impossible, a mere miracle, and that is closure of colostoma without surgery, is a real miracle. which goes beyond all our imagination about what is possible. But we have already faced our innate and gained persuasion of what might and might not work. And then life brought us to new knowledge, which opened the door to something completely different. So this is very important that Biotronics and also all other branches could find space for research, because we all are here for ourselves, because we are ill ourselves, and those in need are also here, and there are more and more of them. What we call modern world brings instant worsening of the conditions, which was very well described by Ana Moreira, that described interconnectivity of different areas of life. And here I would like to express my thanks to science, because we have already seen multiple scientific series mapping the interconnections, for example, between your microbiome and your cognitive abilities. So if you are interested, follow the newest scientific research, and you will find out what discoveries have been made. I'm 70 years old, so the science of my youth was completely different. So everything seemed to be very clear at that time, and later on, new discoveries, which are completely contradictory to those findings which had been presented before, were made. Man investigates something and believes that this is like a final discovery, because beyond every horizon there is another one. Ayurveda and other fields related to philosophy could report this. So at the end of our journeys, we will be able to say that our consciousness and our beings is already ante portas, become before we merge with the source. So philosophy in first place, that's why Charles University also opened the study of philosophy as the first scientific matters, because one does not only be a scientist, but we should be humans in first place, to be more sensitive, more understanding, loving, and working on improvement of our human qualities, because we are no gods. Some people already believe that they are on that level. So I think I should use one more quote, and that is, those whom medicines cannot heal, nature. Training for health means moderation in food and diligence in effort. So this is by Hippocrates. This name belongs to VIPs, doesn't it? It's connected to all medical practice. And we can often see them here in many other quotes, and this does not contradict medicine, which here I mean conventional EBM medicine, which is completely unreplaceable. And the reason why I am here is to enrich this world with something which was given into my life as a gift. Although I admit I did not grow up as a biotronicist, I had never expected to be able to work in this realm. Although since my youth, I had always had some spiritual experience. So biotronics is connected with philosophy, spirituality, and religion, as it uses something which it never purchases. Because a biotonicist uses something which is never purchased. It is a gift which can be used for everybody. If it's a biotonicist of Josef Zazulka, then this is always non-profit treatment. We don't buy anything and we don't sell anything either. The treatment should go out of the spiritual heart, not the organ. And this is a life journey. Medicine also has very hard preparation, studies at a faculty, all exams, and then whole life education, because a medical doctor cannot never stop studying. But the same applies to biotronics in a different field, because a biotonicist makes a personal change in their lives, on themselves. As was described previously, Jacob's ladder, there is a change, personal change, which leads to higher experience, which impulses further change. And that brings additional knowledge and experience. So this is a whole system, interconnected system. Each age has certain soul, a certain spirit. There have been very material times. And this is a demonstration of a curve in our eras which change. We have already had many civilizations, which some of them reached great achievements. Some of them could be perceived as useless or mentally ill. But sensitive humans always ask, wise people always ask what these people reached, what these civilizations achieved, because there might have been even greater achievements in former civilizations than those of us. That's why I included Nikola Tesla here, because he went completely beyond the results of contemporary science. In today's science, we believe that this always leads via teams, and Tesla was the complete opposite of research work. Of course, teamwork is very powerful. If that team consisted of numerous Teslas, that would achieve the greatest results. So I still look forward to those days when his achievements will be fully understood, because he studied completely inorganic and organic forces, and I represent organic forces that refer to him, and not only to him, because Josef Zazulka was a very incredible figure. His range of understanding is indescribable. Doctors who cooperated with him reported as his state of knowledge as such belonging to a professor of medicine. For example, when new illnesses, for example AIDS, were reported, he communicated with a doctor, and that doctor reported that Zazulka had already known much more about this specific illness, AIDS, much more than himself and the published studies. In the 50s, he already informed about meat as being harmful, which has been only proven recently. He published the diets, cancerogenic diets, and then WHO published a similar diet after decades. He also reported the effect of genetically modified animals, reports changes in its DNA when humans start having similar shapes to those of pigs. So I believe that it will become possible in the future, that this all will be investigated and studied. So just those a few % of genome change really matter. Also, meat consumption and hormones developed due to the stress that animals are experiencing before being slaughtered actually get transferred into human tissues after that meat has been consumed by a human. So let me conclude with a topic which is not very common, and that is the experience from the Himalayas. In Himalaya valleys, there are two completely different populations. One of them consumes meat normally, and the other one is a completely plant-based population. That non-meat population lives until the age of 120, and they look much younger. This has been investigated. You will be able to find the links. This is also very significant. I work in the realm of oncological treatments. I never take a doctor's patient. This must always be with a doctor's approval. Of course, it would be ideal if Biotronics could be applied before a patient's operation, and then the evaluation could be performed. Hopefully, this may happen in the future.
Informaci jsem podal, je to k dispozici.
This has been reported. I would like to thank Ana Moreira, who was one of those who enabled me to give a presentation in her congress in Porto, where I had an opportunity to present in the main program with oncological pathogenesis of the cell, and in the auditorium there were more than 1,000 oncologists, so it was very vast audience. And now we would like to continue in the Congress in Rio de Janeiro, and I believe in further progress in sharing experience. So I wish you that you would never need Biotronics, because that's the best option. And towards all those recommendations from Ayurveda and other disciplines should lead, because all of them should follow the same aim, and they are equally important. These are realms which Western science overlooks. So a disease is removed via inorganic science, inorganic forces in conventional medicine. However, we know what increased curve of tumor is, what it looks like. we know what bleeding into intestines looks like. So this is no prevention. This is already finding of existing illness. We should make sure that these pathological processes do not develop at all. That's what we should focus on. So there will be changes in the paradigm and the interest of the scientific world into more biological form of intervention, because we deal with biology, which is very variable itself, much more variable than we have ever discovered. But there is a long journey to be taken. It's also a journey for science, and I believe in a unique journey, so I believe that science will merge with philosophy in the end. Science sometimes ridicules philosophy, because this seems to be something which hasn't been reported yet. But that's because we haven't studied it sufficiently. And there are difficult areas in philosophy, there are difficult areas in science as well. Some mistakes that had been made and later corrected. So what is philosophy? It's not memorizing Hippocrates. Philosophy is what you live. Philosophy is here that you could change your own personality. So I wish you all success in that.
Děkuji.
Thank you.
Děkuji.
Mr. Pfeiffer, thank you for your captivating presentation, truly captivating presentation. Thank you very much.